It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away.
Sinead O Connor was never meant to be a pop star. She was really a protest singer, you know.
The reason why people like me are singers is because the best way we communicate is through song.
And slowly I watched him move here and move there. He went his way homeward with one star awake as the swan in the evening moves over the lake.
The 20 grand they give away every week, and,
10.
and the country broke. Where do you get it?
Where do we get it? Sponsorship. Sponsorship. It keeps us alive.
Okay, but wait.
Tour America.
Wait. Okay, and a second part.
Tour America tonight, for
A
example.
second part to the question, why don't you give it to some family who's broke? Why don't you just find some family who's completely broke every week and give
That's
it
it.
to them?
Everyone can. You see it?
I don't think people really give, hopefully, enough of a toss to really think about it. You know what I mean? I suppose, like, what's the way to put it? I think the real world and the online/media world are completely different places. Do you know what I mean? I
Totally.
think in the real world, people aren't stupid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
Do you think that whole online thing and the way, like, you know, the Miley Cyrus thing then turns into this international incident because of kind of online? It's changed really the way things are in the world, hasn't it? The internet thing.
I don't know. I think it's not policed yet, which I think is quite dangerous. It's not. There are no. You're allowed to say and do things on the internet that are illegal in the real world, and that I think is a big problem. I think it's a very frightening place, the internet, in many ways for that reason. Like, you know, we could go on for ages about examples, but, you know, dreadful remarks that are allowed to be left about all manner of people. For example, things that you couldn't say in the real world that you would, you know, be in trouble for, things that you couldn't do, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah.
that's my experience of it. That it can be a very bullying place, and it can bullying anywhere can cause deaths. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
And a mob does
especially
whip up quite
amongst
quickly on the
younger
internet,
people.
doesn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, there's a slew of very young people, ending their lives and ending up in dreadful situations because of things like, you know, remarks not being policed. And it's not, all over the internet, it's everybody. And what's very interesting to me is that there's no number you can call for anyone, Google, YouTube, any of these people. You can't call and go, look, who's moderating the remarks here? And the reason you can't is because nobody is, which is really weird. It's like, why are things that are illegal in our world not illegal there? It's really...
Yeah.
Very strange, and especially when you know.
Have you felt bullied yourself, like when those storms have whipped up about you and stuff? Have you felt bullied by it?
Well, I definitely, as you know, I was mistakenly diagnosed about 10 years ago with a mental illness, which luckily I don't have. But I had a very interesting experience living as a person who was perceived mistakenly or otherwise, you know. And I found that quite depressing, that people would, again, you know, but actually this does happen in the so-called real world as well, that people, if you are perceived mistakenly or otherwise to have a mental illness, people use that as something with which to kick the shit out of you rather than be nice to you. And so the only time I found it difficult being bullied was when that was the thing that was being used to bully me.
Crazy bitch, basically.
Yeah, I don't think words like crazy should be allowed to be used as terms of abuse, you know, or associated words as terms of abuse. You wouldn't say to somebody, you cancerous piece of shit, or you wouldn't say to somebody, you know, whatever it creates deaths. Again, this is a situation where people suffering from mental illnesses have to try to, walk down. It's like a guy trying to walk down the road with 2 broken legs and having to act like he hasn't got any broken legs, because if someone finds out he does, they're going to come and stamp on his broken legs. That's what it's like. So that's the only time I found it difficult, being treated like shit as such because of being Sinead O'Connor,
You said about being you were mistakenly diagnosed with bipolar.
Sorry, just to quickly finish that point. The only reason it's dangerous, that kind of stuff, is because it doesn't stay on the page or the screen. It actually translates down into how people treat you in your life. That's what's dangerous about it.
Okay.
It'd be all right if somebody just wrote it down and so is a fucking and then grand, that'd be that. But it's the fact that everybody else in your life seems to think they have license to treat you like you're completely invalid. Everything you think, do, say, feel. Do you know what I mean? So you're like the guy rolling the thing up the hill,
And when you say do you feel that translated into your own life as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It does into everyone's life. But the worst part, see, I'm a tough cookie. Even though I might be vulnerable, I might get hurt by things, I get back up again. I have a lot of steel in my backbone, But there are a lot of people who wouldn't have necessarily the same resources that I would. So if I, as a very tough person, would find those things difficult, the more important person is the one who's actually not so tough, and those are the readers and the people who are exposed to these kind of bullyings that go on, and these are the people that
All the flowers that you planted